And welcome to Believe TV. My name is Bruce Sampson and I am your host. Thank you so much for joining. Today is a fun day. Let me handle business first. First and foremost, if you are tuning in for the first time, this is a podcast called Believe TV where we embrace the possible and we encourage you to interact with us. So if you're catching us on Facebook Live, then we encourage you to ask questions, say hello, tell us where you're from, add comments, all that sort of thing, especially today. Today, we're talking all about Believe Performing Arts Experience, our summer camps that we do down south in Louisiana and Mississippi, and we've done it in many other places as well. But this is year number 10 for us, our 10-year anniversary. And we're super excited to get it started. We are about a week away from getting started. And oh, hey, we already have somebody tuning in. Hey, my friend. It's my friend Karen from Hamburg, Germany. Oh, I meant to wear my hat today, too. Um, Kayla came to visit while I was in California. In fact, she's still there right now. And she brought me a cap that says Hamburg on it. And I was going to wear it today, and I totally forgot about it. But it's good to see you, my friend. Thank you for staying up and tuning in. And thank you. Um, Very happy about this anniversary. Hey, Katie, how are you? The countdown has begun. That is very true. That's very true. Katie's one of our longtime Believe campers and one of my favorites. And we are super excited to see you, Katie. Cannot wait. Um, so, for those of you that don't know, Believe Performing Arts Experience, or the Believe Summer Camps as it's more commonly known or referred to, is a performing arts camp. It's Oh, hey, and Hope is there. What's up, Hope? I think Hope's done it from the very beginning, haven't you? If you haven't done all of them, you've done most of them. Um, so Hope is also one of our campers. I'm so excited to have you guys there. Um, yeah, our team is super excited. We've been messaging each other and calling each other and emailing each other just constantly as we're getting closer and closer to this. Clark, let's go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Clark, if you want to join us, you know you can. I know you're probably busy, but if you're not and you're available to hop on and say hi, feel free to do so. I think I already sent you the link. It should be in that messenger group. Okay. Um, but Clark is one of our. I always forget what his title is. I'm so horrible with titles. It's my own organization, and I'm horrible with titles. Um, but he's one of our talent coordinator. That's the word, talent coordinator. Um, and has been with us for a number of years, and I just can't even imagine um, not having him on board. Um, okay, something weird is going on. Um, oh, how cool, Izzy? What's up, girl? How you doing? Um, oh, so people are starting to come on. So we do have some guests who are going to be joining us. And I'm going to bring them on in just a second. Um, so the Believe Camp is singing, dancing, acting, games, and so much more. And rather than me sitting here and trying to tell you what it is, I thought it'd be fun to have some different folks on to join today. And these are some of our Believe supporters and campers who know it inside and out, just like I do. And so as I'm starting to see them come on into the green room connection, so you guys, if you're clearly watching right now, so just know when you see the 3, 2, 1, then you'll be live. Okay, so if you can hear me, hopefully you can. Um, without further ado, let's go ahead and bring on the folks that we have. And what we're going to be doing today, and I'm just gonna, as I bring them on, I'm just gonna um, kind of share with you. Hey, my friends,
Hello.
how's it going?
Good.
Awesome, awesome. So let me start by I think Angela's screen is frozen, so I'm going to take her off for a second until she fixes it. And so who we have here? Go ahead and introduce yourselves. I'm sorry.
Hi, I am Jessie Abney.
I'm Reagan Abney. I'm her mama. Yes.
And they're both from Slidell.
Yes, yes, yes.
And
I think Angela's
oh
having some.
yeah, let me see. Well, that's weird. She's like on two different ones. Three, two, one. Are you there yet? No, it's not that one. I'm trying to see if I can get Angela on. Three, two, one. Angela, are you there now? Nope, she's still working on it. I see her connected, but I don't see her.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we'll hide her for now until she figures out. In fact, let me close those out. Anyway, so 10 years of Believe, and wow,
Exciting.
Wow,
it,
wow,
it,
wow, wow.
it's a lot.
Fun.
So okay, so for the sake of you guys, let me ask a question. So because I don't really remember the answer to this question. um, Jesse, you haven't. Did you do the very first Believe?
No, I did not. No, sir.
She's
Wh-
going to her sixth
Six.
year.
I think it's my sixth.
6 year. Okay, okay. Because I get it confused because I know that you did some Young American workshops. So I know
Yeah.
I've worked with you in that capacity too. So sometimes I get them kind of crossed and all
Yeah.
that. So if have you ever had to explain to someone what Believe is who's never seen it or whatever?
I definitely have.
Okay, and
But
what do you say?
I've just told them that altogether it's a great experience and you get a taste of everything that's in the industry of acting, dancing, singing, all of that combined together. And in the end, you put on this amazing showcase that never fails to impress anyone who goes.
uh,
And you get to showcase all of that in one show. And sometimes people are like, how can you showcase all of that in one show? Come to the Believe show and you'll see it. So I just tell them that it's a really good experience when you get to dabble in places that maybe you haven't dabbled before.
Oh, I like that. I like that. I like that. Yeah, because it's really funny because I've had people over the years sign up for the first time, and they'll usually say, even though I advertise it, singing, dancing, acting, all these things, they come in and say, "Okay, so I want to sign up for the acting part." I'm like,
Oh yeah.
"No, you don't get it. You do it
All
all.
yeah.
You're gonna do everything. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. When you sign up, you get everything."
Yes.
Um, so Angela's trying again. We'll see if it works this time. um, so, oh, and Izzy, she's trying.
Oh, there.
That's awesome. So I think, let's see, did it work that time? Or did it freeze again? Oh, it froze again, I think.
Oh,
We keep trying, but it keeps freezing. Oh, well. Izzy, help your mother. What are you doing?
Can y'all hear me?
We can
we
hear
can
you.
hear you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
there you are.
Now. And would you like to
This
introduce
poor
yourself?
signal is killing me.
Are you in?
How's it going?
Good, good. So your image kind of freezes from time to time, but that's okay. We're if you can hear us and we can hear you, then that's great. You still there? Okay, well just pop in whenever you can. um, I kind of forgot where we were. Um, oh yeah, that you get it all. It's you get all the classes together, and one of the things I like about that and set it up that way is because a lot of times kids come into it or even parents sign up their kids not knowing what their talents are. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And sometimes you're like, oh, I don't or you pigeonhole yourself into something and say, well, this is what I am. But it's simply because you haven't been exposed to, or at least exposed in the proper way to the other art form. So yeah, and I think patting myself on the back, I think we kind of do a good job of creating an atmosphere. So again, to the two of you, I pose the question: what, how do you describe the atmosphere of Believe?
Okay, so I'm gonna try and find a good short explanation because there's so much I want to say, but everyone is very supportive. And there's some camps that aren't like that, but Believe always, like all the counselors, everyone is just so, yes, like this comment says, so high energy throughout the entire camp. And I've seen kids like my age and younger go in completely scared because they don't have their parents. But at the end of the week, they're a completely different person. And it's because having people there to support you through things, it's real. It's what's the word I'm looking for? It's really uplifting to have people there to be there with you through every step, so you're not at all on your own. Like you have people there. So it's just it's a really good camp. It's a really
I will, from the parent standpoint, I mean, it's a huge confidence builder for both kids who are like actively involved in dance, singing, acting, but also those that have never really had the opportunities given to them to be a part of those disciplines or those skill sets. And so, really, from the very first day, when Jesse first did it, the very first time, the very first day, they put them at ease, and it's not like you're in the spotlight. So, a lot of times, kids are scared to kind of take that step into an audition or any type of like musical theater acting audition for like a camp, just because they don't necessarily feel prepared. But Believe has done a great job of not even letting the kids know that people are looking at them and watching them, and letting them just be themselves in the moment, and then recognizing what talents they bring forward, and then really putting that on display. Talking to other parents, seeing your kid do things that you could do is absolutely amazing. Or seeing the kids that are a little bit of an introvert or shy come out of their shell and really express themselves. I mean, that for me is what Believe is all about. It's not about what level you're at in any of those disciplines. It's about really believing in yourself and giving your self confidence the opportunity to kind of outwardly express those things, and to see that growth in your own child and other children is, I mean, it's amazing. I mean, it's a pretty powerful thing. It's very inspiring.
Cool. Thank you for that. So here's what I want to just throw in right now before we go any further. So today is going to be, what I'd like to do is, normally, like both of you have been on here before, and like normally, I just ask you questions and interview you and that sort of thing. But I really want it to be kind of an open conversation. So like anything that you want to bring up, like you don't have to wait for me to bring it up. Anything, if you want to ask me something, or whatever, then let's do that. So just make it a back and forth, kind of conversation of anything that you want to share. But going into that, I'll give you a minute or so to think about if you have any thoughts about it. One of the things that I do want to throw out there is that we've had a lot of people, obviously over 10 years, we've had a lot of kids who aged out because, after you graduate high school, it's not really for you anymore. But this year we are hoping that since it's our 10-year anniversary, that some of our alumni, Believe alumni, will come back, see the show, support the current crop, and then join us on stage for a number or two. So if you're out there and you're listening, or anybody who's signed up or who's ever done it before, spread the word. You all should come to the show in your area, because we're coming to Bogalusa, Louisiana, Slidell, Louisiana, and Gallman, Mississippi. And so wherever you are in proximity to those locations, come and check it out, and then come join us on stage to celebrate the 10-year anniversary. I think it's going to be really, really, really cool. I'm super excited about that, and I hope we can pack the place and really have a huge celebration along the way.
Absolutely. I'm really excited to kind of see some of the things that they did way back, at the beginning, and then bringing that back. And it would be really good to see some of the alumni come back and share stories about how Believe has kind of helped them navigate through life. I know for Jessie, she has been involved in musical theater since she was 5. And, people tell me all the time, well, like why would she want to do Believe, if she's already kind of has like some discipline. And the one thing I will say as a parent is and Jessie and I were having this conversation in the car the other day, coming home. I don't even know where we were coming home from, but we were just talking about just some of the paths that have been open to her and the people that she has met, and the word networking came up, and that has been a huge provider for Jessie, as in Believe has been a huge provider for her, with networking and meeting different people and being able to experience. Like, a lot of people ask me, well, why does Jessie have such a diverse, like, why does she take voice lessons from different people? Why does she take acting lessons from different people? And, from the very beginning, we were told diversity expands your knowledge. And really, honestly, that's why we've always done that. We've sought out different, and we've had professionals tell us, I can only do this for her, so seek out somebody else that can maybe give her a different perspective. And so Believe has definitely helped us to network, helped her to network, put different people in her life who have open paths and open doors for her. And I mean, we're extremely grateful. I mean, Jessie's about to leave us and go to New York, and so for college, for musical theater. And I mean, all of that, honestly, I don't think she would have been prepared for auditions had it not been for some of our Believe friends. And I mean, you're one of them.
You are one of them.
Nick is another one.
Nick is another one. Okay, so
Patrick, Clark, I mean, Abby, Spider. I mean,
Yes.
we can name them all. Have been a huge part of that networking, that channel that has opened possibilities for her. And every step along the way, whether it's been in the middle of a Believe camp or outside of Believe camp in the middle of January, it's the constant support and the belief that everyone that's involved with Believe put in these children, and they always know that they have someone that they can bounce ideas off of, seek advice, opinions. Like, I mean, there has been, I mean, we honestly like had a moment of gratefulness in the car talking about networking and what Believe has done for Jessie, and I know that it does that for other children as well.
like going off of the moment of gratefulness my mom said, I definitely can say 100%, and I'm not just saying this, like, out of all honesty, from the bottom of my heart, I would not be where I am today if I did not do Believe Camp.
Oh wow, that's sweet. That's extremely sweet.
It's true. It's true.
That's-
Because, like, for my college audition, we Zoomed with Patrick to help me. Like, he was like playing the piano over Zoom, and I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And then we met up with Nick to help me with my monologue up in New York, like the day of my audition. So it's like my mom said, the constant support. And it's not like they're supportive and uplifting during the camp and then they just like leave you high and dry. Like, y'all are always there year round.
And available.
And always available. And y'all are super easy to like reach out to too. So it's not hard. And it's just it's a really nice family to have.
Oh, thank you. That's sweet. I like the family part. That's cool. um, yeah, you know what's interesting in you guys saying that is not everyone knows or understands that about the team, because I try to explain to them who they are and why I handpicked each one, you know, because there was something special about each one of them, and something crazy about each one of them too. But but that's the nature of the business, right? That's just life.
Makes it even better.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, and there are other, and I would say only a few who have done things like that, like reached out to Nick and Patrick and myself and others, you know, for either advice or help or whatever. And they don't, I guess folks don't realize how invested we are, because like, for instance, like just a couple of months ago, I drove to Gulman, Mississippi to go see their spring production, you know, because, you know, I care about those kids and I care about the community, and we go there every year. And I think I surprised you once, didn't I?
I have twice, I think. So I think that she thought that, which it was the whole Believe team. I think that she thought you guys were like, yeah, sure, we'll come see Into the Woods, but never really.
I didn't think that y'all were like actually gonna come. Like, I thought you were like, oh yeah, that might be like something cool to go do.
Yes.
And then like,
and then Little Mermaid, and look, it wasn't just for Jessie. I mean, we need to say that, because that whole entire Slidell community, you guys showed up to be there for all of those kids that have been through Believe and not been through Believe, which is another thing. Like, it's, you know, there are some organizations that if you're not involved, like you don't attend or you're not involved, that they don't necessarily care for the success of that child. They're there just to support their people. That is not Believe. I mean, you guys have a vested interest and want to see kids inside and outside of Believe Camp succeed. And I mean, it's evident. It's evident in the way that you guys, when you show up for things, and I mean, I think when we were on with you live last time, you talked to Jessie and we talked about the importance of networking and the importance of not being afraid to ask, like, somebody to do something for you or to help you along your path. And Jessie really walked away with that in her head of that's things that I need to improve on and get better at. And so, like, the vested interest that you guys have and showing up for events outside of, or not even showing up for events, but making comments on social media, through emails, through text messages of, you know, we see what's going on and we support you and we're proud of you, and we're, you know, those are the things that, I mean, stretch beyond just a week of Believe Camp. And it's important for these kids. You know, Jessie, I think we talked about, Jessie has a mental health impact statement that she works on with kids that are facing mental health issues. And that's one of the things that she talks about, is finding your community, finding and surrounding yourself with the people who support you and want to see you succeed. And, you know, that's something that Believe has done. I mean, and even through a pandemic, that other people just like high and dry fled and said, oh, well, we can't do it. You guys thought outside of the box and said, we're not going to leave these kids without some type of outlet during COVID. And I mean, that was huge. Wow. For them to have that connection, even during moments of complete loneliness and, you know, not having an outlet to express themselves. You guys didn't leave them, you know, high and dry. So your impact is further than you think it is. I mean, it's much further. It makes ripples that, and like I said, if you're inside the camp or outside the camp, you guys are making impact on folks that you don't even realize that you are.
Wow, that's amazing, because you know what? I totally forgot about that, about what was going on during the pandemic. And it's interesting too, because it's almost as if you were in those conversations with us when we decided to do it, because we all reached out to each other, and that was the thing of like, we've got to do something. Like, what are we going to do? Like, we were like almost panicked, like,
right.
Like all those kids, you know, everybody's isolated now. Like, what do we do? And so we offered a couple of different things, you know, like where we reached out to, you know, a couple of our Broadway and Hollywood friends and stuff to do some special workshops. But then we also did these little parties, or like these virtual parties and stuff. And I totally forgot about that until you said that. So that's part of those 10 years, yeah, was that.
It is. And it's so amazing to us. So last weekend, Jesse had to go and support some friends for Miss Louisiana. And so there is a former Miss Louisiana who, Nita Whitaker, Mama Nita. So Jesse went to talk to her just about how amazing her voice is. And I mean, those people.
Wait, y'all don't understand. This girl can sing.
So Nita is more of you and I, Bruce, our age. So like Nita was on Star Search. So remember Star Search way back in the day?
Yeah.
And Nita does a lot in California. She lives in LA, does a lot in California. So we're having a conversation with her and find out that we have somebody that we mutually know from New York. And
guess who?
Oh, wait, hold on.
We're not there yet. We're not there yet.
In New York. Okay. So she is like, my daughter lives in New York. She just got off the tour for Moulin Rouge. I want to connect the two of you. So she like connected Jesse. So Jesse was doing like a really good job of networking with Nita. Well, then we get back to our hotel room and look on social media and figure out that O and her are really good friends. So the next night, right? So the next night we FaceTime poor O, who was on a cruise.
Yeah,
and
on a cruise, sleeping. He was relaxing, and so I FaceTime. I was like, hopefully he's awake, and he answers the phone. He's like, Jesse. What? I was like, oh, this is a good reason to FaceTime you in the middle of the night. And then I like flipped the camera.
Yes.
And he was like, oh.
Like, it's just the circles keep, you know, rippling out. And it's amazing, just all the just connections, networking, opportunity, belief in self, confidence that it builds. I mean, I really, honestly, when people ask me about it, it's like I'm at a loss for words, because it's like I can never adequately say what I want to say about belief, because it's so much more than just a week long of dancing, singing. And I mean, you guys are teaching these kids basic life skills like networking, being kind to one another, supporting one another, like just like diversity in where you're going to work, where you're going to school, the friends that you keep, understanding differences between cultures, between, you know, even just like your own little community and supporting those. Like, I just like, and I mean, I know we have in Slidell, ours is at Living the Word Church. And like, as and no reason why, but I would have never stepped foot in Living the Word Church. Like, just wouldn't have,
Right.
because
Yeah.
wouldn't have had. Now we are like a welcomed extended family to them. I mean, unfortunately, we've had to go there for funerals and things that we not necessarily the greatest situation, but it's like Pastor Weathersby. I mean, he's like knows us, knows that we're a part of Believe. It's just this welcoming feeling of, so I feel like even in our own community, it's opened opportunities and doors for us to meet new people and to experience different, if it's spiritually based, or just if you're doing community service work, or if it's just in the arts. I mean, it's really open doors.
And I think it's really cool. Like anytime I go into Living the Word Church, there's always like Believe shows from like past that like linger on that stage, and like I see the classrooms and I'm like, the memories, or the acting workshops, or when we go around in the circle in Patrick's room, and I'm like, oh, the memory. Like, there's so many memories that are created that I still think of to this day, even from the first show. Like,
Wow.
so
That's so cool.
it impacts people more than you know.
Well, let me take a brief second to acknowledge the folks who are messaging.
Yes.
So Angela, so she's listening
Oh,
to join you live. Bummer, but burst with excitement and enthusiasm. Yeah, love you, Angela. Thank you so much for everything you're doing. And yeah, I understand the Wi-Fi connection in Washington Parish is not the greatest. So, so thank you for trying, though. And then we have Miss Debbie Boutman, who's also been a supporter from day one. These kids who participate each year have grown up right before our eyes. Oh my gosh, so true. They look forward to seeing their Believe friends and counselors every year. Yeah, that's kind of what I was going to bring up, because you kind of touched on it. The ideas of the friends that are made, the friendships that are made. Like, one of the coolest things for me is finding out kind of after the fact. Usually I'm late to the train, but uh, finding out that people who didn't know each other, who met at Believe, are now like these really close friends, and they keep in contact, and they do things together, and their families are connected, and like all of that is just like the most beautiful byproduct of what we do. Because it, like, at the end of the day, for those who don't know, like, our mission statement is to use the performing arts to engage, educate, inspire, and unite youth and communities everywhere. And so when I see that, like, that always gets me. And like, I guess you'd have to be sitting in the right spot at the show to see me, but every year I can never make it through the Fantasia Believe song that we do at the end. There can't be miracles. Like, I am a sobbing mess the whole time, like, just watching you guys perform, and the passion and the love, and the way you're looking at each other, and the way you're holding hands and arms around each other, and all of that. Like, it's like, this is what it's all about. And do you remember, he's done it a couple times, going back to Pastor Weathersby. Do you remember what it was that he said at the end about what we're seeing on stage? He made a comment saying that this is what heaven's going to look like.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was
I just got
the highest compliment I could ever get. Like, the most beautiful thing to say is that this is what it's going to look like.
There's no, and I mean, that's part of the mission statement. I mean, unifying, and there's no borders, there's no walls, it's just raw, just growth and admiration and respect, and just, look, I know that they have so much fun at the camp and doing the show, but like, it is breathtaking to watch. It just is, like, just because you see people who, like, you would normally, like, kids that are normally They kind of are in the background. They don't really want to be front and center, but you see them front and center. It's like they have halos around them. It just because you can just see that confidence and that, and and to mention, like, I mean, obviously she's done musical theater, she's auditioned, and there's a lot of pressure around, like, am I going to get this role, this going to be like? It's a lot of pressure, whereas I feel like Believe, there is no pressure. It's just be yourself, bring to the table what you are strongest at, and it's highlighted. And it's not a situation of where, oh, the kids are looking at somebody else and they're like, oh, they sing better than me, they dance better than me, they act better than me. There nothing. Like, in the 6 years that, or 5 years that she's done it, going into her 6th year, I've never seen anyone, but I've seen that at other places where it's just pressure and you're competing, and it's I can't let myself go because, I'm not as good. That's not how it is. Everybody is equal. Everybody is contributing to the overall success, and it's breathtaking to watch. Like, it just really is. And that's why I am lost for words a lot of times.
Well, and I think a lot of people will be surprised to know too, like for me, like the thing where I said, at the end, I'm crying when I'm watching the whole thing happen. But part of it's because the directors that we have, I love and trust them so much that aside from the initial like creating of the show, like, yeah, sure, I'm involved in saying, well, this is the material, this is the theme, this is what we're going to do. But then I hand it over to them and say, now do with it what you will,
Right.
take it, present it however you feel. And another little thing I'll slip into is that people will be surprised to know that changes from site to site,
Right.
depending on who the kids are that are involved and the environment that they're in. So they adapt it. And so I've had young people, attend one camp and then come and watch the show of another camp, and they're like, their show is so different. And it's like, we mainly did all the same material, but it's different because of what they brought to it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
Right.
so that's really cool. Anyway, I lost the track of what I was saying before that. But let me see who. Oh, wow, we have a few more people. Miss Chandra Kazi, one of my dearest friends from day one in Bogalusa. She jumped on board and is like, without me even ever asking her to be involved, like she just kind of like you. Like she just just became a part and was like, I'm on the team, whether you like it or not, and just
Right.
like she's incredible. And she's one of those two that, and I appreciate her so much because I'm just going to say it here, that she will go out into, she gets her own kids involved, but then she goes out into the community in her church and in her neighborhoods and stuff, and like basically goes door to door saying, this kid needs to do this, let's get them signed up. And then in some cases, if they don't have the money, she'll go find the money for it, for them to do it. So Miss Chandra, love you to death. Thank you for everything you do for these kids and for understanding and believing the vision. That means the world to me. Okay, Angela. Yes, the unity and hope are palpable, and every year, and I believe we are planting and watering seeds that will transform the trajectory of our communities. The harvest will be great because of this decade-long investment in our kids. And then there's more, but you can't see it. It says, this experience is a great equalizer. There are no socioeconomic barriers at Believe. Oh, I love that. I love that. Yeah, and this is one of the things I was going to say, is that one of the things that's frustrating for me is when kids don't participate because parents or guardians or whatever don't see the vision. they don't understand it.
Right.
And so they'll either look at the kids and go, well, I don't think they can sing. So, and this is a phrase I hear a lot in Washington Parish, especially, is when people say, I'm not going to let them get on that stage and embarrass me. I'm like, first of all, not about you. You know what I mean? Like, not even about you.
Yeah.
And two, it's about giving them a chance. And it doesn't matter. Like, there's no prerequisite of like, well, you must know this before you come in, or you must pass this audition to get into Believe. There's
Right.
none of that. We take you, come as you are, and then we'll help you go from there, like wherever you want to go. And for
And
those, go
I've
ahead.
never seen anyone embarrass themselves or anyone that they are related to ever.
Right.
The,
Usually,
the counselors are that good. Like,
yeah,
they are. They pull, like, some people in this world have a knack for pulling out the best in people, and every single person that's involved in Believe does that. They find what's best and pull it out, and like it. I'm telling you, we had people 2 years ago that came to the show. Their kids were not involved, came to the show to see it because I was just like, you need to come just watch it. And listening to me talk, listening to Pastor Weathersby, listening to you, Bruce, and then watching the show, they understood. Like, they understood what the vision was and why Believe is what it is. And so their kids did participate this past year and are bringing in more kids, which is what we want. I mean,
yeah.
I always joke and say, I wish I could win the lottery because I would give my money to Believe so that we could like take this show on the road. We'll be like a traveling, showcase.
And last Believe camp, so like what, last summer?
Mm-hmm.
I was still like, I finished my junior year in the mindset of I have no clue what I'm doing with my life. I don't know what I'm doing. What do I do? And I was like, I know I want to do something in musical theater, but I don't know what. But I remember, like, it's always like this. Every Believe camp that I've been to, anytime I'm on this, like doing a group number or singing the Fantasia song, it's just like, it's something speaks to you. Something speaks to you on that stage. And especially last summer we were doing it. And last summer I made so many friends. Like, I've never made that many friends at Believe camp that I did last summer. And during the Fantasia song, we were all singing it. And I was just like I had a moment of being like an outer body experience where I was like, I need to do this. Like, that was my for sure, like, determiner. I was like, I need to do this for the rest. Like, if I don't do this, then I guess I'll be living under the Brooklyn Bridge at this point. And, like, that's why it's so emotional, is that you get this feeling of being so loved and so welcomed that whenever you're in the middle of singing the Fantasia song, and those lyrics they speak to you, not only singing them, but listening to it. And people, like my sister, she was like, why are you crying on stage? And I was like, you don't understand. You don't understand. But it's such a good experience. It's such a good experience. There is not, like, if anyone was to be like, well, like, is it worth it? Yes. The heartbeat isn't even there. It's silence. Yes. When I tell you, I would never doubt Believe camp for 1 second. That is how much it has moved me as a person.
Wow. See, I need to take you guys on the road and just like put you out as our PR team. Where
We can do that. We can do that.
It's amazing. Emily, who's one of our counselors, she's for Bogless in particular, and after the turbulent events surrounding our town over the past year, Believe is a much needed ray of light and hope. That's really sweet. Thank you, Em. She's so funny. I always, excuse me, I always call her M. And and whenever I do, she goes, "Okay, brew." um, anyway, so I said earlier. Now we're already 45 minutes in. Did you guys have any questions or any other things that you wanted to um, bring to light that we haven't talked about yet?
No, I mean, my question really would be to those that are watching or will watch later. You know, how do we grow? And that's, I mean, that's something that we've ventured down for the last going on 2 years is how do we grow? How do we touch more people? How do we enter bigger cities? How do we get the word out? And yes, it takes a village. And, as most people know, being very transparent, the Believe staff is their team is very busy doing other things. I mean, they have lives and they're working in the industry and they're doing things, within. And so it's hard. So I guess my ask is those that are listening or hear this is sharing Believe experience, especially if you're in a city that we already go to, sharing that and really talking about life-changing opportunities that it has provided for students and kids and really extending that invitation. It's one of those things where if you don't extend the invitation, people don't know. For us, we did Young Americans, and it was actually the Strickland, so Kayla Johnson and Mariah Strickland, that were like, Jesse has to do Believe. If it had not been for them, we would have never found Believe. And so we're so grateful.
Honestly, because we went and saw them in the Wiz when they did it at Slaughter Lothier. Like that's where I ultimately first met Miss Kayla and Mariah and that whole family. If it wasn't for me obsessing over her blue high ponytail braid that she had in, I was like, "Is that your hair?" I was like, "How'd you get your hair that blue?" And she was like, "Girl." But it's just the way that everything merges and webs together. Because if I didn't compliment her hair, then she wouldn't have given me acting lessons, and then I wouldn't have met Ava, and then I met Mariah, and then I wouldn't have all of the information.
You wouldn't have went to Young Americans.
I wouldn't have went to Young Americans and met Bruce.
Then that came Believe, but. Yeah, I mean, it's not really a question. It's more of a share the experience with more people. And if you have contacts, don't be afraid to share those contacts so that we can make, we can contact these people, reach out and hopefully get Believe in other communities. And if you have talents and you want to share those talents with us, we welcome it. And at the end of the day, people always ask me, and I mean, it's not just Believe because I that's my heart. That's my passion is giving back. And I don't ask for anything in return because that's not what it's about. It's about feeding my soul and my spirit and in helping to reach other people. And if you have that same passion, join us and help us. We really want to expand it so that other kids get this opportunity too. Other young adults get the opportunity too, because you just don't know what's inside of you until somebody kind of opens that door and allows you to be your true authentic self. And it may not be dancing, singing, and acting. It may be something totally different that Believe has exposed a child to, that has set them on their pathway in their journey. And if we're not touching as many kids as we can, then we can't open more doors and see that growth and the changes in kids. So
yeah, it's to me, one of the things I always say is trying to help everyone find their voice, regardless of what area that goes in, because we're teaching skill sets and things that can apply in all aspects of life, whether it's school or work or what have you. Just interpersonal skills as well,
Yeah.
just how you get along with people, how to work with people, conflict resolution,
Yeah.
all that sort of stuff. And I've had some people ask me, like, when I mention conflict resolution, they're like, well, what kind of conflict is there in putting on a show? Well, first of all, you never put on a show. And then secondly, um, um, it's, we do this thing called the creative section, that we
Oh,
have, I believe. And that's where it really comes into play, because the concept is, and I love telling the story, but like, I remember the first time I brought up the concept of let's try this thing, this idea, they were like, first of all, trusting me that, oh, well, surely he knows what he's doing, and so, but they still question me. So, what do you think's good? What are you expecting to happen if we do this? And I said, I have no idea, but we always ask the kids to trust us. Let's trust them and just see what they do. And so they're like, wait, you have no idea? I'm like, no, let's find out. you know, let's
Right.
trust goes both ways. Let's see what happens. And for those that don't know, the creative section is a part of the camp where we allow the kids to pick a specific discipline, whichever one they want, regardless of their age or experience. And then they create a part of the show. They get to create a number for the show. And they have to figure out, that's where the directors, we kind of sit back and, help, where we need to. But for the most part, it's the students creating it. It's their idea. And so if they need help or structure, we'll help with that. But for the most part, it's them. They figure out who's leading, they figure out who's, putting it all together. And then we're always pleasantly surprised at the outcome,
Right.
of it. And so,
Interesting because, like, there are things that are already prepared and taught to the kids that they do in the show on Friday night or Saturday for Bugaloosa. But so it's interesting because you never, like, I'm surprised when they say the kids did this, like they did this because it looks like it's just part of the show. Like,
yeah,
it doesn't look like disconnected, or and I think, look, in every aspect of your life, whether you're doing the arts or not, you have to learn to work with people. You have to learn to give and take, give your ideas, but also listen to other people's ideas. And you have to be able to, and I feel like our world is lacking a lot of that conflict resolution.
mhm,
Kids, it's whatever I believe it should be. And we're doing a disservice to our young adults because when they get out in the real world, that's not the way the world works. And I think that it definitely teaches them the ability, regardless of where they land up and what they're going to do with their life, you're always going to have to work with other people. And you just have to. And I think that is such a great aspect, but it's, again, amazing because you would think that it would be totally disconnected to the rest of the show, but it's not.
yeah,
It's really cool to kind of see what the kids do.
to touch back on what my mom said about how it doesn't look disconnected, I feel like it doesn't feel disconnected because of the uplifting support that you have in that. And even though y'all are like, all right, your problem now, not really, but y'all support us through it. So it's not like a type of thing where it's like, well, I'm not helping you, gotta figure it out. I'm done. Like, I'm just watching now. Y'all are like, y'all got this. Like, or y'all are like, how about you try this? And that's really helpful. And it gives us that confidence of like, okay, this gonna work. This gonna
yeah.
work. But I'm really trying to think of a question to ask you, but you always touch on everything. Like on your social media, you always touch on everything. But I'm really trying to think of a question, but I can't think of one.
Well, that's okay. That's okay. Um, I would like to touch on something your mom said too, with regard to people helping believe. So whether it's helping get more kids to the camps or what have you. Um, Also, this year we uh, finally applied for and got our 501c3, which makes us a charitable organization. And so if you're out there, and for those of you that don't have kids or your kids are grown or whatever, or you have a business, what have you, we would love to have your support because being truly transparent, and sometimes I get myself in trouble this way, but being truly transparent, every year that we start Believe and we pick dates and we say we're going for it, it's always a leap of faith because we don't have like a budget or, like money sitting somewhere with which to produce it. So it really requires the folks who sign up and pay the registration fees and the number of people who either invest money or resources to help us do what we do, because it's an expensive proposition. Because for those that don't know Believe, what we do is we basically fly in these incredibly talented experts who are from all over the country. So they're coming from all over. It's not like we have an office somewhere and we all see each other every day and all that sort of thing. It's like, no, summertime is like our reunion too, because we're all doing our own separate things around the world. And then we just kind of pull together. But that's an expensive notion to fly everyone in, to get rental vehicles, to pay for gas, and we know the price of gas nowadays, to feed them, house them, and the materials and everything that we do. And every year we try to ramp up another level, from like when I think about the very first year, like we came with nothing. Like we had nothing. We're like, we get to the school and say, what do you got we can use? Like it was literally that. And we, over the years, people have invested and purchased things for us, and we, just, bite the bullet and get stuff. But every year, and Reagan knows this very well, that Slidell is usually our last camp, and there are times when she'll pass by and go, "Are you okay?" And like, I'm still just stressed, hoping we're gonna make it. Like we're still short, and I just need to make sure I can pay everybody, because these are people, like I said, who are professionals, who are basically taking a month off to, from what they would normally do and where they would make a lot more money than I pay them to come be a part of this, because they share the vision and because they believe and they believe in the young people here. And so I am stressed going, I have to make sure they get paid because they have bills to pay, and all of that. So,
and I will tell you from a parent standpoint, I mean, we've been around for a while in the musical theater world, the industry. They're not paid what they're worth. I mean, if you sign up for any camp anywhere, regardless of what city it's in, you are paying way more than what you're paying for your child to get the experience of Believe Camp. And I will speak like I mean, yeah, there are times, and I get it. People are like, I don't know what's going to happen during the summer, so I'm not really sure I'm going to sign my kid up yet. But really, honestly, I mean, there have been times where it's like, is Believe Camp even going to happen? Because we have people signed up. There's not enough money to account for everyone that needs to be paid. And, a lot of these, there have been years where the team, Believe Camp, have not been paid to make it happen. And I know that as a parent. And, these people are supporting families and supporting a life just like we are. And they're sharing their talents with your child. And, it's important that we get businesses and a budget and I would call it a little nest egg, so that poor Bruce doesn't have to get gray hairs from whether be able to pay people and make this happen. And so, I mean, I will speak from a parent side of it. If you have a business that can support, and even if you don't have a business that can support and donate money, find ways to help. I mean, we started Slidell when I joined the team. We started with, I provided every meal every night and was fine with doing that. And then had people walk up to me and say, how can I help? Like, I want to help. And so now, like, I don't even think I have to cook this year because we have so many people that have signed up to cook and provide meals. And then we've got people that are coming to give breaks to the counselors, and people that, want to continue to help in any way that they can. So any way that you can help, if you are feeling propelled or called to volunteer, we need it. Like, anything is not too small. And that's the thing. Even if you only have, $20 and you're like, hey, I want to donate that, $20 goes a long way. And it does help towards anything that we're trying to accomplish. So, and I am not paid. So I will tell you that I am not speaking from somebody that is paid. I am not. I do this because I want to do it. I believe in the mission and I want to help. And, I wish I had more time to help. And more resources. See, I need to play the lottery. No, I'm joking. Maybe I'll win, and then all of our problems will be solved.
But
Yes, please.
one little thing I want to add. I've had a lot of my friends that have done Believe with me say how grateful they are for all the counselors and for you especially. They say that they're just I'm trying to let me pick out the best ones. No offense to my friends, but they just the ultimate gratitude they feel at the end of the week that these adults they don't have to do this, and they do this because of their love for the craft of musical theater and dance and acting and all of this, and they take a month out and they provide to the community down here, and it makes so many kids feel welcomed, and it's such a positive community, because a lot of if you were just to do a musical theater show, there's always drama surrounding musical theater shows, and that's just the way we are. We're dramatic people. And I believe there's no drama that surrounds Believe, at least in the campers' eyes. And I don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but it's a lot of people are very, very grateful for the service that y'all do.
Wow, thank you. That means a lot. I'll probably go on my grave this way, just saying I'm surprised when people even notice me, because generally speaking, aside from them checking in with me, just checking them off, we have a lot of big personalities, Nick, and and so I'm like, the fact that you even remember who I am, or whatever, is means a lot. But it is definitely, I feel so lucky, so blessed to have all the people who are involved in our Believe family, including the Abney family, who I just can't even say enough words about how giving and honoring and honorable you all are. And thank you for taking care of our team and for supporting Believe, and caring enough about the kids and families in your own community. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, that's what it's really about. So we're actually a little bit over time, and I thank you guys for taking out your Sunday afternoon to do this. But real quickly, I just want to run through a few things. So again, get the word out for alumni. If you've done Believe before, please come to the show, and then come join us on stage at the end. Yeah, don't come up because you wouldn't have learned the other stuff, but but at the end we'll tell you when.
Yes.
There are a few past participants who would just come up, just jump in. But there's that. The 501c3. Go to our website. It's on the bottom there, the little ticker going by, BelieveCamp.com. Just go there, and there are links on there to reach out to us if you want to help or if you want to donate. We try to make it as easy as possible and convenient for you to do so. And then at the end, I guess the last thing I just want to say is talking about the future, which is one of the things that we want to do is go beyond. Well, we want to grow in a couple different ways. First of all, we want to grow our team because we want to be able to be in multiple places at once so that we can reach more people and all of that. So that's one piece of it. But the other way is we want to grow more in the sense of offering more services and being able to do more things. For instance, Nick and I were just talking about this the other day that we kind of already do it organically where different schools or theater departments or whatever will reach out to one of us and say, hey, will you come direct this? Or hey, will you come choreograph this? Or will you come and help us with, whatever, or judge this competition or judge these, help us with the auditions. But we want to be able to offer that in a formal capacity. And going back to what we were talking about earlier with the during the pandemic, where we did the virtual classes with celebrities and stuff like that, we'd like to do some in person. Like wouldn't it be cool to do a camp where not only you have our team, but we have a couple of Broadway stars, people from Hollywood, and also come and be a part of that as well.
Back in for that.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not
For
going.
sure. Yeah, but I mean, we just want to expand and do more things. And one of the things that we did, and Reagan, I'm not even sure if you knew. I think you knew we did this, but I don't know if it was last Christmas or the Christmas before. I think it was the Christmas before. We were invited to California to work with adults who were educators and guidance counselors and just counselors in general that work with kids, and they invited us to do kind of an ambush, I believe, because none of the staff knew we were coming. They thought they were going to a normal in-service, and then when they got there, they're like, "Surprise! We're going to sing and dance and act." And it turned out to be the coolest thing. After it was all over, all their employees filled out a survey saying that this was their favorite in-service they've ever had, and it was the most impactful and made them feel the most appreciated for what they do.
Right.
And so that's another thing I would like to do is do more adult camps and workshops and special events. So just letting you all know that that's out there too. So if you're interested in working with Believe in any capacity, reach out, and we would love to have that conversation. And just know you can still register for the camps that we have going on in the next couple of weeks, starting July 3rd in Bogalusa, the following week going to Gulman, Mississippi, and then finishing up in Slidell, Louisiana.
Yay.
So go to BelieveCamp.com. What'd you say? Say it again?
We'll
be
in
all
three.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for everything, again, for taking time out of your day today, and then for everything that you do for Believe and for everyone else. You're just the best.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you guys for doing what you do.
Yes.
We appreciate it.
We're one big family. We are a family,
Yes.
like a giant tree. All right, you guys. Well, have a good one.
Yes.
Take care, and I will talk to you soon.
We'll see
Yes.
you soon.
All righty. Bye-bye. Thank you guys so much for joining us. As I said, BelieveCamp.com. Check us out, and we'll see you guys again soon.